You can't keep doing the same shit over and over again. Shit ain't gonna get you nowhere. But in the same place over and over again. You can't keep being in those same places. You can't keep being around those same motherfuckers, doing the same things, and thinking you're gonna be a different person in the next 4 months.
Raven Jackson had everything the world wanted to see. Beauty, success, a thriving business. To her millions of followers, she was the embodiment of a perfect life. But behind the filtered posts, behind the smiles, there was a hidden pain. A pain so deep that it ended her life far too soon. She was 24, a fitness CEO, a motivational speaker, a model, an influencer with over 230,000 followers. Raven's life seemed perfect online. Carefully curated workout posts, motivational captions, glamorous trips. But something was missing. Something she kept hidden from her audience.
Fail. I don't have a safety net. If some shit over here, I don't have nobody to help me.
Her followers knew her as the strong, successful, confident woman. But they didn't know the silent battle she was fighting. Then on September 6th, 2022, Raven Jackson was found dead in her apartment. But what happened between those perfect posts and her tragic end? Let's find out. This isn't just another influencer story. This is the truth about the darkness behind the spotlight. But before we begin, I just want to take a moment to thank you, my incredible viewers and subscribers. Your likes, shares, and thoughtful comments don't just support this channel. They help keep these stories alive. If you're new here, welcome. Be sure to hit that subscribe button and become part of this growing community, one that believes every story deserves to be told, and no victim should ever be forgotten. Now, let's get into it. Born in Canton, Mississippi, Raven was more than just an aspiring fitness influencer. She was a driven young woman with a passion for health, wellness, and empowerment. Growing up, she faced her own struggles. Her father was absent, and her mother worked tirelessly to support them. But Raven was determined to rise above her circumstances. Despite the challenges she faced, she never let them define her. In fact, they fueled her desire to build something greater for herself and for those who followed her. Raven's love for fitness wasn't just about aesthetics. It was about mental health. She understood that true wellness was more than just how you looked. It was about how you felt, both inside and out. Raven knew the importance of emotional well-being, and she made it her mission to promote it. While studying at Jacksonville State University, she founded Real Talk with Raven, or RTR, a program that would become a cornerstone of her journey. RTR wasn't just a group. It was a safe space, a platform where students could connect, share their struggles, and heal. She hosted seminars, she created mental health initiatives, she built communities, spaces where young people could express themselves without fear of judgment.
But also protect your peace. You have to learn how to protect your peace. That's something I dealt with for a long time because I was raised in a family where we didn't say I love you. So I didn't really know how to love people. I didn't really know what love was. I can't control other people. Like, it's not your fault. Right? You have to protect yourself, but it's not your fault how people treat you. Period. It's stuff that they harbor inside themselves that's being projected onto you. You can't change everybody. You cannot say.
As Raven once said during an RTR seminar, everyone has a different perception because everyone has a different story. It wasn't just a slogan, it was a truth she lived by. Raven understood that we all carry our own stories, our own battles, and she used her platform to help others realize they weren't alone. In one of the many cases she encountered, she received this message: "I've been going through a rough patch mentally due to school and life back at home with my folks. Certain things have turned me into a different person. And I really feel like I'm fighting this battle alone. Nobody understands me.
As parents, it is your responsibility to make sure that you tell your children you love them, you encourage them with kind words and with love.
But her work wasn't just confined to the walls of her seminars or her local community. Raven's journey was about more than helping others. She wanted to show them what was possible. She didn't just want to be someone to look up to. She wanted to be proof that with hard work, you could change your life. As her online presence grew, so did her influence. She wasn't just another fitness model with a perfect body. Raven was something different. She created Go Crazy Fitness, a brand that went beyond workout routines and meal plans. Go Crazy Fitness wasn't just about fitness, it was a lifestyle.
3, 2, 1, let's go! Yeah! 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 Hold that shit down! Hold that shit down!
What set Raven apart was her genuine approach. She wasn't just about physical transformation, she was about the emotional transformation that came with it. She became the go-to coach for countless women, especially in the Black community, who found in her not just a fitness coach, but someone who truly understood them. Raven didn't just teach women how to work out. She taught them how to carry themselves with confidence, how to rise above the pressures of society, how to love themselves, no matter what the world said. Raven Jackson's story was one of determination, strength, and the deep desire to give back. But as we know now, behind all that strength was a pain she struggled with in silence. Even as Raven's star rose, she battled something deeper, her mental health. Despite sharing motivational content, despite encouraging others to push through challenges, Raven was fighting her own inner demons. Issues of self-worth, feelings of isolation, a relentless battle with depression. It was a side of her the public never saw, a side that wasn't easy to show. In one of her posts, she confessed to her followers, "You're not going to wake up every day and feel beautiful or worthy, but it's okay, you're not alone." Her words resonated with so many, but they were also a reflection of her own struggle, a struggle that wasn't visible through the curated posts she shared with the world. Raven was always the one encouraging others. Keep pushing, stay strong, never give up. She taught people to embrace their flaws, to be confident, but behind the camera, she was fighting a battle she couldn't escape. The pressure was immense. Her fans saw her as a beacon of strength, but the truth was, Raven was exhausted, emotionally, physically, mentally. In one of her posts, she wrote, "I don't think people understand how much it hurts when the people you love don't support your dreams or business ventures. Support is everything. My own family will be minutes away from my events, but have never been to a single one. You could be putting your all into something you believe in, and the people you look to for support will leave you hanging. But when it's time to ask for money, free promotion, or help, then your first priority." As Raven's fame grew, so did the weight on her shoulders, the pressure of always being an inspiration, of always being on. She'd post motivational videos, share workout routines, give advice that empowered her followers. But when the cameras were off, the exhaustion set in. Raven wasn't just tired from the demands of her busy life. She was drained, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. Her online persona, confident, unstoppable, masked an internal struggle she couldn't share. The more she gave, the more she felt disconnected from herself, as if the life she built wasn't really hers anymore. She was living in the spotlight, but that spotlight was starting to burn, and the gap between who she was online and who she was in reality only grew wider. In her final months, friends and close followers began to notice the signs. Raven seemed more withdrawn, her posts less frequent, her energy different. One moment, she was uplifting thousands, motivating them to chase their dreams, to never give up. The next, she was texting her boyfriend, rapper 600 Breezy, saying, "Nothing feels real anymore." A cry for help, unnoticed by most, buried beneath perfectly filtered images and empowering messages. But for those close to her, the signs were impossible to ignore. Raven was struggling. She was trying to hold on, but the weight was becoming too much to bear. Her social media presence remained active, but behind those posts, she was fighting a darkness only she could see. Her words, once full of energy and passion, now felt heavy, as if the pain was beginning to seep through the cracks. Raven found love in 600 Breezy, a Chicago rapper. Their relationship was quiet, away from the public eye. In a world where everything was put on display, Raven and Breezy kept their connection close. Glimpses of their love were shared, but never fully exposed to the scrutiny of social media. Together, they focused on their businesses. They supported each other. Breezy wasn't just her boyfriend. He was her confidant, her safe space, the person she could lean on when the weight of the world became too heavy. But despite the love they shared, Raven still struggled. She was constantly expected to be an inspiration, to embody strength, to showcase success. But behind closed doors, there was an emotional burden she couldn't shake. In one of her most heartfelt messages to Breezy, she poured out her emotions, revealing the true depth of her pain. "I pray I get to love you in a better life, where I'm a better version of me." These words were more than just a plea for love. They were a reflection of the emotional toll she was enduring. Even in her darkest moments, she was thinking of their future, hoping for a time when she could be a better version of herself, not just for him, but for her own peace of mind. It was a sign that despite everything, Raven still had hope, but that hope was wearing thin. She was struggling to find the strength to keep going. And no matter how much love Breezy gave her, it wasn't enough to erase the deep emotional wounds she carried. But the pressure from Raven's relationship with Breezy didn't end there. His complicated past, especially with his ex-rapper Queen Key, began to cast a shadow over their relationship. Queen Key had made her frustrations known, and it was clear that her unresolved issues with Breezy were starting to take a toll on Raven. The constant drama, the public accusations, the emotional weight of it all seemed to pile up, adding to the already overwhelming pressure Raven was facing. Queen Key publicly accused Breezy of being a deadbeat father, questioning his role in his children's lives. She also made alarming claims about Breezy's sexuality, even accusing him of having AIDS. The tension between the two women was undeniable, and Raven, caught in the middle, had to carry that emotional burden, all while trying to maintain her own sense of self. Raven never let the drama show on the outside, but inside, it was wearing her down. She was trying to stay strong, to be the supportive girlfriend and the motivational figure her followers knew her to be. But the reality was much more complicated. Breezy's drama with Queen Key and the way it spilled into their relationship took a toll on Raven's mental health. She was in the midst of trying to build an empire, to inspire others, while also struggling to hold it all together emotionally. The stress from their tumultuous relationship, combined with the constant pressure of her public life, slowly chipped away at the woman who seemed to have it all. Raven had always been a fighter, but even fighters need a break. As much as she tried to be there for others, the weight of everything she was holding began to feel unbearable. She was caught in a cycle of emotional exhaustion, trying to balance the love she had for Breezy, the demands of her online presence, and the personal battles she was fighting silently. It was clear that no matter how much love she received, there were things Raven couldn't fix on her own. And as her emotional fatigue deepened, the cracks in her seemingly perfect life began to show. Despite her dedication to fitness, Raven had health problems that no one knew about. She worked tirelessly to motivate others, sharing her workout routines and promoting a healthy lifestyle. But behind the scenes, Raven was grappling with something far more personal and painful, something she kept hidden from her followers. For a long time, she had been dealing with unexplained symptoms, chronic pain, irregular periods, and weight fluctuations. As much as she tried to push through, the physical and emotional toll became too much to ignore. Eventually, Raven was diagnosed with PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome, a hormonal disorder that caused her ovaries to develop small cysts, leading to even more complications. The diagnosis was a heavy blow, one that added to the already immense pressure Raven was under.
People really just don't want to have kids, and that's me. I don't want to have kids. I wish they could just get here and teleport and just be here, like the stork drop them off or some shit. I don't know, but I don't want to have them out my vagina. Have y'all seen that? Have y'all seen people giving birth out their vagina? Because I follow several give birth pages on Instagram. That shit ain't lit. That shit don't look easy or fun or none of that shit. It's amazing. But do I want to do it? No, I don't care. I don't.
PCOS wasn't just a physical condition. It took a toll on Raven's mental health as well. The constant pain, the weight fluctuations, the emotional turmoil, these were battles she faced every single day. And yet, she had to keep up with her public persona. She was no stranger to pushing through pain, but this was different. Raven had always been resilient, but dealing with PCOS meant battling more than just her body's physical limitations. It meant fighting the emotional exhaustion that came with it. Despite her outward strength, the reality of living with a chronic condition began to take its toll. Raven wasn't just fighting to motivate others. She was fighting to keep herself going. But Raven didn't shy away from her diagnosis. Once she had a name for the pain she had been experiencing, she faced it head-on. Instead of hiding it, instead of pretending it wasn't there, she chose to share her journey openly, hoping to help others struggling with similar battles. Her honesty became part of her strength. She started a vlog, documenting her experience, teaching others how to manage PCOS through diet and self-care. She shared nutrition tips, workout routines that were gentle on her body, and the mental shifts she had to make to cope with the emotional weight of the condition. Raven wasn't just talking the talk, she was walking the walk. She showed her followers that strength wasn't about being perfect. Strength meant being real. But even with all the strength she shared, Raven was exhausted. It wasn't just the physical toll of PCOS, it was the emotional burden of living in a world where everything had to be perfect. She was still putting out content, still pushing herself to be that source of inspiration. But behind the smiles, behind the videos, Raven was drained. She was fighting to keep it together, all while wondering if she would ever get the support and understanding she so desperately needed. As the summer of 2022 came to an end, her followers began to notice a shift. Her once consistent posts slowed down, and when she did share something, it just didn't feel the same. The vibrant energy that had once been so contagious seemed to be slipping away. She still posted workout videos, but they were different now. The routines were there, the movements were the same, but her energy, her personality, wasn't. Her posts felt more like obligations rather than expressions of passion. For a woman who had always radiated strength and motivation, this change was impossible to ignore. Her followers, who had once seen Raven as an endless source of light and inspiration, began to wonder, was she just tired? Was she going through a rough patch? It wasn't clear. But one thing was, the woman who had once told thousands to push through their pain was now struggling with her own. It was during these final days that Raven sent her last message to 600 Breezy, the man she had loved for 2 years. His grief over what happened next would later reveal just how much Raven had been suffering behind closed doors. She had always been open about her struggles with mental health. But this message was different. It was more than just a moment of vulnerability. It was a cry for help. A message that none of us could truly understand until it was too late. "Nothing feels real to me anymore," Raven wrote. Those words hung in the air, heavy and haunting. At the time, Breezy didn't know the depth of her pain, but looking back, those words now felt like a tragic prelude to what was to come. She had always been the one who lifted others, the one who showed everyone how to overcome obstacles, but in this moment, Raven was sharing a pain so deep she couldn't carry it alone anymore. This wasn't just another text message. It was a glimpse into the despair she had been carrying for so long. The exhaustion, the isolation, the feeling that nothing she had worked for, nothing she had built, was real anymore. For all her strength, for all the lives she had touched, Raven was facing a reality where her own life, her own worth, felt like it was slipping through her fingers. And in those final moments, no one knew just how much she was struggling, not even the people closest to her. On September 6, 2022, the world was hit with devastating news. Raven Jackson had passed away. The circumstances surrounding her death were nothing short of shocking. She was found unalive in her apartment, a gunshot wound to the head. The news spread quickly, leaving fans, friends, and family in a state of disbelief. How could someone so full of life, someone who had so much love to give, be taken from this world so soon? Raven had become an icon to many, a source of inspiration. And yet, her own life was cut short in the most heartbreaking way. At first, the report suggested that Raven's death had been a suicide. It was a hard pill to swallow for those who had followed her journey, especially after all the motivational posts and inspiring words she had shared. But as more details emerged, the story began to unravel in unexpected ways, and the truth became much more complicated. Raven's boyfriend, rapper 600 Breezy, took to social media to mourn her loss, but his reaction only raised more questions. Among his posts, he shared an earlier goodbye letter from Raven, but later, he clarified that it wasn't a recent note. It was something she had written before. This left many of her fans questioning the timing of it all. Why had Breezy posted that letter at all? Was it a sign of something deeper? Or was it an attempt to explain away the situation? Regardless, the timing only added to the confusion. and the mystery surrounding Raven's tragic death. As the news of her death spread, Raven's family and fans couldn't help but voice their concerns. Why hadn't Breezy reached out to her family sooner? Why didn't he notify anyone immediately after discovering what had happened? And most importantly, why had Raven been left alone to fight her inner demons, despite the fact that so many loved her? For all the strength she had shown in her public life, it seemed that Raven had been struggling with her mental health in silence, and the people closest to her had missed the warning signs. In one of her posts, she said, "Even if I were to die tomorrow, I don't want anyone to feel guilt for not talking to me. That's probably what I wanted. Don't be remorseful." The questions kept piling up, and the sadness of losing someone so young, so full of potential, weighed heavily on everyone who knew her. But in the aftermath of Raven's passing, her story became a powerful reminder of the pressures that come with online fame and the dangers of keeping everything locked inside. From the outside looking in, Raven's life was one of success and achievement, but her death served as a wake-up call. Her story isn't just about fame, fitness, or tragedy. It's a lesson, a harsh reminder of the overwhelming pressure of constantly living up to expectations, of always appearing strong when you're fighting your own battles in private. Raven taught us that sometimes the strongest people are the ones who need the most support. She spent her life encouraging others to push through, to be their best, to never give up. But in the end, she too needed someone to check in on her, to offer her the same love and encouragement she had shown so many others. Her death left behind a community that had been touched by her, but it also reminded us of a painful truth. No one is invincible. Even those who appear to have everything together can be silently breaking inside. It's a tragic irony that Raven, who had built a platform to help others, couldn't find the help she needed herself. And as we reflect on her life and her legacy, one thing is clear: we must take better care of the people around us, especially those who seem the strongest, because they might just be the ones silently fighting the hardest. Raven's story serves as a wake-up call. She built a movement around fitness and wellness, but what she also showed us is something deeper. That real strength doesn't come from just pushing through. It comes from being vulnerable, from sharing your struggles and allowing others to support you when you need it the most. Raven's legacy lives on, not just through the successful brand she built with Go Crazy Fitness, but through the countless people she helped along the way. Those who found strength and motivation in her words, and those who learned to take care of their mental health through the platform she created. Her journey was a reminder that we all have a role to play in each other's lives. If you're struggling right now, please reach out. You're not alone in this. Sometimes the strongest people, the ones who always seem to motivate others, are the ones who need help the most. So today, take a moment to check on the people around you, the ones who lift others up. You might just be the person they need to talk to, and you never know. Your simple act of checking in could be the difference they need to keep going. Raven may no longer be with us, but the message she left behind is timeless. Don't let pride or fear keep you from reaching out for support. You matter. Your struggles matter. And there's always someone who is willing to listen. Rest in peace, Raven Jackson. Your light touched so many lives. And your legacy of strength, empowerment, and authenticity will live on forever. Our hearts go out to her family, friends, and all who loved her. May you find comfort in the love and inspiration she left behind. Thank you for watching. If you found this story meaningful, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more. Your support means a lot to us.